So for a lot of you guys who are familiar with dysfunctional family systems, okay, let's talk about the narcissistic family dynamics in this case. You're also aware that you are dealing with a dysfunctional family. Now, in that family, we have a whole network of people that do different roles. We have a narcissistic parent, we have the enabling parent who enables the narcissistic behavior. We have the golden child, who is the family favorite. And then there's the black sheep, or stroke the scapegoat, who is blamed for pretty much everything that goes on in the unit. And then we have the lost child, the one that actually is out there doing their own things. Nobody even pays attention. Sometimes they're not even pretty much connected to the family. And then we have the paralyzed child. Okay. Now, depending on the size of the family, you may sometimes have a family which is a very small family, 1 or 2 members. Now, in that kind of family, where it becomes a little bit difficult because now we have 1 or 2 members, and these members, they can actually switch roles depending on the needs of that narcissistic parent who is running that home. So you may sometimes have a golden child who may sometimes be made a scapegoat, who may sometimes is a lost child, sometimes they are switching between different roles. Even at the same time, they're even flying monkeys. So you can have a person who is having a couple of roles at the same time. But let's take an instance where you have a couple of members in the family, different ones, and everybody has got an established role in that unit. The scapegoat in that family, at some point along their journey, they are going to kind of go through an awakening. The black sheep of the family will usually awaken. It is inevitable. It is inevitable that the black sheep in the family will awaken at some point. When that black sheep awakens, they will walk away. They may run away, or they may walk away, or they will even crawl away, okay? But they will leave. When that black sheep leaves, there's a very massive gaping hole in the unit. Remember back in the days, back in those years, you was this punching bag. You was the person, the trash can, okay? Whatever it is was going on in other people's lives, it was usually dumped on you. So you were like, so they call you a scapegoat. They call a scapegoat for a reason. Because you're able to take in everybody's pain, everybody's crap, everybody's trash, and take it in as your own. So sometimes why you say scapegoat suffers a lot, because a lot of the energy that they're dealing with is not even their own energy. That energy is just being absorbed from other people. They're always dumping their trash on them. Things you didn't do, everybody blamed you for those stuff. Things you did, nobody acknowledged what you had to say, what you did. Things you said was not valid. You are the scapegoat of the family. For a dysfunctional family to survive, they need to have a scapegoat in the unit. The scapegoat is the one who, now all the shame, the abuse, the torture, all the curses and dysfunction of that unit, it is going to sit within the scapegoat's consciousness. So they're going to carry all that weight. I've told you, you're the one who has been carrying everyone's cross. If you are not in that family as a scapegoat, if they do not have a scapegoat, it is going to be very difficult for them to thrive. Because at the end of the day, remember, everybody eats, and the leftovers, the bones and something, they need to dump them somewhere in the trash can. So what do you do if the trash can is gone? Okay, there's no trash can. What do you do? Let's take a real case scenario, just something I can give you as an example. After dinner, There is leftovers, there is bones, there is some skins, there is stuff that nobody needs. They have always had the trash can, a familiar one. They knew that the trash can was always pressed near the door. Everybody went and dumped their garbage over there. What happens when that trash can is gone? So that means that now they have to have somewhere else that they're going to dump that garbage. Okay, when they no longer have a trash can to dump their garbage, they have to find an alternative where they can now dump that garbage, because a family of dysfunction, a dysfunctional family system survives in that way whereby these different members in the unit are all assigned those roles so that the family can be able to sustain itself in this dysfunction. Because remember, again, in their own heads, everything is okay. There's nothing wrong with the unit. Okay? They do not see any problem. You, as a black sheep or a scapegoat, you are the one who is seeing the problem, but none of them actually sees the problem. Why? Because whenever there was a problem, there was always a trash can. So there was always a diversion of anybody who had to face accountability. They had to dump some of that garbage and energy onto someone else so that now they can be able to feel better about themselves. That kind of BS happened when I was with the unit back in the days, back in the years. Once you walk away, there's a real problem. There is a very huge gaping hole. Now, everybody is looking amongst each other. What do we do now? Okay, this person is left, and now they are struggling with their own energy. They have this dysfunction that has been going on in their system. They are struggling with their own energy. All that chaos has been, the turmoil that has been going on in their lives. They do not have anywhere to dump it. So there's a problem now. So what does the narcissistic parent do? The narcissistic parent is going to identify a new scapegoat for the unit. Because remember that when you leave the unit, there's a very big, I've talked about the gaping hole, but there's a very big turmoil that happens in the unit. There's a very big chaos. People fighting each other. People want to kill each other. People blaming each other, because now there's a lot of garbage moving around and they don't have a real place to dump it. So they start hitting at each other. That's where the chaos comes from, because now the energy is moving different directions. The lost child, the scapegoat, the lost child, the golden child, the paralyzed child, everybody's receiving a bit of that portion. And they're not built for that. They don't know how to take in that level of energy because it is very intensive. Due to this turmoil that is going on in the unit, the narcissistic parent is going to think very fast. And that is going to be within the first or second week. Should they confirm that you're gone, okay, you are out of the unit. You don't want to hear anything with them because you've blocked anyone, you don't want to hear any of their crap. It's going to become a real situation for them. The narcissistic parent is going to think very fast. And they're going to identify a new member. So sometimes they may look towards the golden child. In most case scenarios, it has always started with the golden child, whereby they thought that, okay, so now that that person is gone, that energy is going to be diverted to the golden child. The golden child is going to feel the intensity of that abuse. For the very first time, the golden child is going to have a feel of what it means to take in this abuse. When he was there, he wasn't talking, so nobody would even feel the abuse was going on. But once you leave, the golden child starts to experience that abuse firsthand. They are feeling the intensity of the energy. Usually the golden child cannot handle that, because remember that the golden child is still the golden child. They are the baby. They are the one who never did anything wrong. They are the most favorite, parents' most favorite, mother's most favorite, father's most favorite. Everybody adored that golden child. When the golden child starts receiving that abuse, they cannot handle that intensity of that energy. Now, usually, they may run away from that role for a little bit. You may sometimes see the golden child extracting themselves a little bit out of the unit, and they may step aside, okay? It's because they're running away from the abuse. They are now seeing the abuse for what it is, and they're kind of running away from this abuse because they don't want to take the blame for anything. They've never taken the blame anyway. What now the parent will do, they're going to keep on trying to find a soft target, because you see, to be able to take in this kind of energy, the abuse and everything, they need a very soft target, okay? So the black sheep and the scapegoat was actually the empath in the family. They are going to identify somebody else who is most likely in a similar frequency, even if you don't necessarily have the same energy, they're going to find somebody that they can use to replace you, because they need a place they can dump. When they dump that garbage onto somebody, it should sit with them for a while. The energy, when the energy comes onto somebody, goes over somewhere, it shouldn't be bounced back to somebody. So the person can take it in and absorb it and sit down with it. That's what they need. And sometimes the golden child may have the ability to bounce back this energy to them. So that's why the golden child doesn't fit in that scenario, because the golden child sometimes has the capability to bounce this energy back onto these other family members and let them know what is happening. But they need a person that cannot bounce back that energy. They need a person whereby if they dump that energy, that person will sit down with the energy and they will absorb that energy. And everything will carry on okay. That's what they call being a scapegoat in the family. It's one of the most painful, dangerous roles in the dysfunctional family system. I want you to pay attention to this unit. If you see a member of the family who has been very distant, most of the times that person was not even bothered with the unit. Sometimes they even missed out on Thanksgiving, they missed out on weddings. They was not even bothered. They was very far away doing their own thing. I want you to pay attention to that member of the family. There's a very big chance that member of the family is going to be sucked back into the unit. If you see your own dysfunctional family system and you have already left that system, pay attention to the member of that unit that is going to step back into the unit after you've left. Immediately when you've left, like a day or two, maybe even a week or two, pay attention to the member of the unit that normally walks back into the system. They was not participating fully way back in time when he was there. When you left, they now came back closer to the unit. Those are the guys that have been identified as the new scapegoats of the family. They may sometimes embody a very similar energy like yours, not necessarily exactly like you, but they're going to embody a very similar energy like yours. They can take in energy and they can absorb that energy. Okay? So the lost child normally can also be an empath. It could be another empath, not necessarily all the time, but usually it's going to be another empath. As long as the family has got a scapegoat, everything is okay. They don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to be concerned about anything. They can just carry on and do their dysfunction the way it has always been, and nothing has got to be answered. Nobody has got to answer anything. So they do desperately need a scapegoat. The new scapegoat is going to be the person, again, that they are going to pick up from the site. It may even sometimes be a paralyzed child. It could even sometimes be a lost child. But it is never going to be the golden child. The golden child could play that role a little bit, maybe a couple of days or weeks, but they cannot handle that. They're going to usually step aside and run away. And they're going to wait until a new scapegoat has actually appeared in the unit. Then now they may actually re-engage with the family, because there's a new scapegoat now in the unit and they don't have to deal with anything. So now they may sometimes gravitate back, because a golden child doesn't have the ability to permanently disconnect from this unit. They don't have the same guts that you do as a black sheep. They don't have a mind of their own, okay? They're daddy's favorite. So they are always dependent on the unit for survival, for validation, for, to thrive. That's what they've always done. They do not have a mind of their own. Don't think so that a black sheep is going, a golden child is going to walk away from the unit the same way that you did. That's what I thought back in the days. And I thought that, so finally I can talk to the golden child and we can start sharing stuff. Most of the things which I shared with the golden child, they were reported back to the unit. I would later on find out that most of the things I used to share with the golden child, they were actually reported back to the unit. They do not have a mind of their own. And most of the times they even have a lot of narcissistic tendencies, because remember, they have been the closest members to the narcissistic parent at the top. So that's how this whole thing works when you're dealing with the dysfunctional family system. So as a black sheep, all I can say is that your role is to walk away, okay? Say no to abuse. Say no to dysfunction. You're here to break cycles. You're not here to participate in those cycles. You're here to break cycles. Don't allow those cycles to repeat by continuing to be a part of the system full of dysfunction, okay? So you get away and everything will be okay. The new scapegoat, they will figure things out. I don't try to come in and, intercept the whole system because there's a new scapegoat there. Now you're coming in to warn them or to tell them about this. Don't do that. You can walk away and look after yourself. The new scapegoat will figure things out by themselves when the time is right. Okay? So let's know what to think about the video. I know you guys like a lot of these black sheep videos. I will always be bringing the videos whenever I can. Drop us a comment, like the page, share, and subscribe. You can always book a session with me if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. Denzamos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.